Denmark delivers its final letter, a historic postal shift. Here's the latest news on Denmark's historic last post office letter moment. It's big, symbolic, and marks the end of an era. What happened? Denmark's national postal service, PostNord, delivered its last letter on the 30th of December 2025, ending more than 400 years of traditional letter delivery. This historic final delivery effectively closes the chapter on everyday mail as a core public service in the country. Why it's happening? Letter volumes have plunged by more than 90% since 2000 as Danes shifted communications to digital channels like email, apps, and e-government services. PostNord says traditional mail is no longer economically viable, and it's focusing on parcels where demand is booming thanks to e-commerce. What's next? After PostNord stops delivering letters, a private company, DAO, will handle much of Denmark's future letter deliveries, though under a different system, e.g., dropping letters at retail points rather than traditional street mailboxes. The iconic red mailboxes are being removed from streets, and many have been sold or auctioned off as collectible pieces of cultural history. This isn't just practical news, it's symbolic. Denmark's decision reflects a broader global trend away from physical mail toward digital communication, but it's also one of the first times a modern country has formally retired its letter delivery service after centuries. If you grew up with letters and stamps, this feels like the end of a chapter in daily life and connection. Denmark delivers its last letter and closes a 400-year chapter. On a quiet December day, something profound happened in Denmark. A single letter made its final journey. With that delivery, Denmark officially brought an end to more than 4 centuries of traditional letter delivery, closing one of the oldest continuous postal traditions in the world. The country's national postal service, PostNord, delivered its last letter on the 30th of December 2025, a moment both symbolic and inevitable. There was no grand ceremony, no crowds, just a final envelope completing a system that once stitched the nation together through ink, paper, and patience. Why the letters stopped? The reason is brutally simple. People stopped writing letters. Since the early 2000s, letter volumes in Denmark have collapsed by more than 90%. Emails, text messages, digital government portals, and instant communication made stamped envelopes redundant almost overnight. What was once a daily necessity became an occasional novelty, then a cost burden. PostNord made the call. Many postal services have quietly debated for years. Traditional letter delivery was no longer financially or operationally sustainable. The end of an everyday ritual. For generations, red mailboxes stood on Danish streets as silent witnesses to everyday life. Love letters, handwritten condolences, birthday cards, official notices. Now, those boxes are being removed, sold, or preserved as historical artifacts. Denmark hasn't abandoned mail entirely. Private operators will still handle limited letter services. Parcels, driven by e-commerce, remain big business. But the state-run daily letter service is gone, retired, not replaced. Why this matters beyond Denmark? This isn't just a local administrative change, it's a global signal. Denmark has become one of the first modern nations to formally shut down a centuries-old postal function, not because of war or collapse, but because society simply moved on. It's a reminder that technology doesn't just create new systems, it quietly ends old ones. No drama, no countdown clock, just a final delivery and the turning of a page.